Psalm 121 is an invitation to faith. It calls us to put our trust in God to keep us going on our journey to heaven. If you saw last week's video, you'll remember that the songs of Ascent were the songs that the Jewish pilgrims sung as they journeyed to Jerusalem for the 3 times a year festivals, where they would celebrate all that God had done for them. And they're songs that we can sing as Christians as we journey not to the Jerusalem in the Middle East, but to the new heavenly Jerusalem, where we too will celebrate all that God has done for us. And this week's psalm is a psalm about that journey. In the first verse, the psalmist asks, "I lift my eyes to the mountain. Where does my help come from?" Now, we don't know whether the mountains he's speaking of are the distant mountains of Jerusalem or a place of danger that he needs to pass through on his journey. But regardless of which of those it is, he knows he needs help. For the pilgrim's journey is never straightforward. And wonderfully, the answer to his question comes really quickly. Verse 2, "My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth." The one who threw stars into space, who caused the mountains to rise from the ground, who not only made the heavens and the earth, but made us too. The one who promised to be with his people. The Lord is the psalmist's help, and he's our help too. But what does it look like to have this powerful helper at work in our lives? Well, the rest of the psalm goes on to tell us. First, it means that we have a watchful guide. Verses 3 and 4. "He, the Lord, will not let your foot slip. He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel, over God's people, will neither slumber nor sleep." Do you see what the psalmist is saying? If you're anxious in the Christian life, if you're worried about making a wrong turn on the journey, the psalmist wants us to know that the Lord watches over us, just like a father helps his child take its first steps. The Lord watches over us. He doesn't sleep, so that we can rest in him. Psalm 121 asks us, will you trust the Lord to be your watchful guide as you journey to heaven? Second, the psalmist tells us that the Lord is our constant protector. Verses 5 and 6, "The Lord watches over you. The Lord is your shade at your right hand. The sun will not harm you by day, nor the moon by night." Again, can you see what the psalmist is saying? If you're fearful in the Christian life, perhaps you're afraid that the world or the flesh or the devil might snatch you away from the right path, you need to know that the Lord protects you. And whether the threat comes in the heat of the day or the cool of the night, he is there so that nothing will cause your faith lasting damage. The psalm asks us, will you trust the Lord to be your constant protector as you journey to heaven? And then thirdly, in verses 7 and 8, he's our perpetual guardian. Let me read those verses. "The Lord will keep you from all harm. He will watch over your life. The Lord will watch over your coming and going, both now and forevermore." You see, if your plan for your life isn't unfolding the way you thought it would, if your comings and goings aren't what you were hoping for, you need to know that the Lord watches over you, both now and forevermore. His favour, it lasts for a lifetime, not just for a season. and so he will get you to your destination. The psalm asks us, will you trust the Lord to be your perpetual guardian as you journey to heaven? Where does our help come from in the Christian life? This side of the New Jerusalem, it comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He's the watchful guide, the constant protector, the perpetual guardian of his pilgrim people. And the question is this: will you trust him on the journey?